The world's largest aircraft carrier, USS Gerald R. Ford, sailed for Oslo on Wednesday, the first for a U.S. ship of its kind, in a NATO show of force at a time of soaring tensions between NATO and Russia over the war in Ukraine. The fact that the new aircraft carrier is now making its first visit to Norwegian waters is very positive for our cooperation with America, Norwegian Defense Minister Bjorn Arild Gram told the NTB news agency while visiting the massive warship. The U.S. Navy announced in early May that the ship had left Norfolk in its first combat deployment, following a shorter 2-month deployment in the fall of 2022. The fact that a new aircraft carrier is now making her first visit to Norwegian waters is very positive for our cooperation with America. Norway's Defense Minister Bjorn Arild Gram told the NTB news agency during a visit to the large warship. Relations between NATO members Norway and Russia, which borders the Scandinavian country in the far north, have soured sharply after the invasion of Ukraine. The Russian embassy in Norway on Tuesday strongly criticized a planned U.S. aircraft carrier visit to Oslo as a senseless and dangerous show of force. There is no problem in the north that requires a military solution, or a problem that requires outside intervention. Given Oslo's acknowledgement that Russia poses no direct military threat to Norway, such a show of force seems preposterous and dangerous. First-class aircraft carriers are nuclear-powered ships with a displacement of over 100,000 tons. The Russian government criticized the move as an unnecessary provocation that undermines regional stability. They argue that deploying U.S. aircraft carriers in Norway will only increase tensions and increase the risk of accidents or miscalculations in the region. The USS Gerald Ford is the first new carrier designed in 40 years and is the largest and most expensive warship the world has ever built. Ford took 14 years to build and test and was equipped with 23 new technologies including electromagnetic aircraft launch systems, EMALS, and advanced arms elevators, AWEs. The U.S. Navy announced in early May that the ship had left Norfolk on its first combat deployment, following a shorter 2-month deployment in the fall. NATO member Norway shares a border with Russia in the Arctic and last year became Europe's biggest gas supplier after a reduction in Russian gas flows. The military of Norway and its NATO allies have been patrolling the vicinity of offshore oil and gas platforms since autumn, following an explosion in the Nord Stream pipeline in the Baltic Sea. The ship and its crew will carry out exercises with the Norwegian armed forces along the country's coast in the coming days, the Norwegian military said. This visit is an important signal of the close bilateral relationship between the U.S. and Norway and a signal of the credibility of collective defense and deterrence. Norwegian media reports the carrier will sail north of the Arctic Circle,